Hello again, everybody, and welcome to a Zimco Sports, Zimco Entertainment podcast from the road. I do apologize, there's a little shake here. This is actually sitting on my belly as I record this. I'm in Columbus, Georgia at the moment. Took in a Columbus Clingstones baseball game last night. That is the Double-A affiliate of the Atlanta Braves. I am almost done seeing the Southern League. I'm a ballpark chaser, so doing that, heading up to Atlanta to have a couple days in front of my birthday. So, and it's research as always. Also, I've been kicking around. So this is Zimco Sports and Zimco Entertainment for this podcast. I've been kicking around an idea of doing a travel blog and video called The Tortured Traveler because I have some interesting tales from the travels I get to do, which is great. I love being able to go out and see a park here and there, or go see an event, or go to a concert and travel. It's my passion. I don't have kids, and I'm not going to have kids, and we don't get enough time on this great earth of ours to not go and enjoy things as we can and when we're able. So, free weekend, birthday with the backdrop for the excuse. Here I am. Fun ballpark, not a great ballpark. They moved that ballpark from Jackson, Mississippi, is where they used to be. And I went there last year. I'd argue the ballpark in Jackson, well, it's actually Pearl, Mississippi, is a nicer ballpark. But the Braves have this model of keeping everything close and owning everything. Well, their lease was up. They'd been there for 25 years. So, I think it was only 20. So then they built this ballpark. It just felt like the ballpark was built on the cheap. It was an ode to aluminum. It really didn't resonate. The ballpark itself was kind of eh. Fine folks, nice place. Columbus is a mixed bag. I've never been here before. It's a part of Georgia. Just never happened to visit before. It's not far from Fort Benning and a few other things in this area. I never knew Columbus was as big as it is. It's a nice town, nice folks. I don't know that I never need to come back, but that's nor here nor there. And that's no disrespect. But a very cool place. It's got a market that has stores and bars. I had a fantastic breakfast at Flying Biscuit, which is pretty nice. And then I got an adult beverage for while I sit here and make my video before uh, I get to head to Atlanta for the weekend. So anyway, that's what we're doing. Great week of trivia this week. Thanks for coming out. Had good crowds at most of our places. Um, it's slow this time of year, and August and September are tough on our businesses. Please, please, please go play trivia at one of our local venues. Try someplace new. Maybe that's one of those things. We'll wait till the weather's a little better because we go to one of these venues that's outside. How about going to one of our inside venues? Try out some of these new places. We've got a great little place called Wicked Pub that Emily hosts on Thursdays. Had a good crowd, not a great crowd. It's a locally owned business. Destiny is the lady owns that place. It's a neat place. They got kava, they got beer, they got great sandwiches. Go and try it. Also, we're looking for the first time in a long time. We're looking to book some new gigs any day but Tuesday. So if there's a venue you like to go and they don't have trivia, and that we could fill that void, let us know. We're definitely booking for Mondays. We've got opportunities for a lot of our different hosts. And then Wednesdays and Thursdays, a couple of our established hosts. Plus, we've got a couple of people that we would love to have as regular hosts for us. So let us know. If you send comments, send messages, whatever you got. Check us out also. ZimcoTrivia.com is our website. Our schedule is updated. So we have all of our locations, visible time, what day, everything. Please go check that out. Okay, enough with Zimco Entertainment. Back to the Zimco Sports side. And a lot of people have been asking about our college football podcast. And Brian and I have had nothing but trouble with sound and microphone issues. We thought we had it solved. We didn't. We bought new gear. It didn't work. So we're kind of just stuck. He doesn't like the idea of doing video. He says he has a face for radio. So I don't know. I have no problem being in front of a camera. He's not fond of it. Plus, sound is an issue. Brian's got a low voice, and so that modulation happens if you don't have good equipment. We haven't been able to figure our equipment out. So, normally, we're already talking about college football, And we're not going to be able to do the previews that we normally do. We're going to desperately try to do our regular pick six and college football broadcast each week. It may change what day, based on my availability and our ability to get together. But we're going to try. Uh, so in the meantime, we got to talk some sports, and we've got to talk some college football. And I'm going to get to that in just a moment because the other things going on in the sports right now, we've got this crazy coming together of college football, pro football with preseason. You already have Major League Baseball coming down the stretch, and then you have the crank up for all the other things involved. NHL preseason is going to be here before you know it. The ECHL, our lovely Florida Everblades, are adding players all the time. But the other big news story isn't really as much about the sport as it is about the personalities and what's happening in the WNBA. Let's talk about flying green dildos. So I have a mixed feeling about this. A, dangerous. B, demeaning. Uh, C, hilarious. I'm sorry, I'm very torn. I saw a meme today and it was them saying, pay us what we're worth. And then there was the result of somebody throwing a green dildo. Disrespectful, but funny. Uh, the WNBA has a problem, and they're not coming straight out with it. They have a subpar product. They have this really great product in Caitlin Clark, and all the players just hate on her. And there's a couple other people like Sophie Cunningham, the Plum. I can't remember her first name. She's with Phoenix. They're fantastic ball players, and they are these people that are cutting a social media image too. Look up both of those ladies I mentioned, other than Caitlin Clark, and see what they're posting on TikTok and everything else. They have something to build around, but there's this haterade that's going on with the rest of the players, especially established players, and it's not a great product. And Angel Reese, look, it's easy to make her a villain. She's smart in one way. She has capitalized on the me bounds thing, but that's your pitch? I'm so bad I get all my own rebounds? I don't know. It's kind of a poor product. The NBA and pro basketball is a bad product. We're also getting some of these other sports that have become bad products. Want to know another bad product? NASCAR. NASCAR sucks now. I know very few of the drivers. The races are boring. The coverage is worse. There's this big backlash by the old good old boy network that bring back old NASCAR. Part of that I actually agree with. Part of it is, well, it's because you don't like Bubba Wallace. That you see where I'm going with this. There's still that big divide, and that's a shame. So where am I going with this? Well, I'm here in Columbus, Georgia. This is a very interesting amalgamation of people. It's been very, very interesting being here. Um, it's a big town, but it's a small town. But there's a lot of folks. Everybody seems to get along really well. I've heard Columbus is dangerous. I'm not saying that. Apparently, I'm not going to the right places or the wrong places. But I think we are so divided on everything, and that includes sports now. One thing that we can all agree about is the NFL. Everybody, man, they got it right. They've done it right. They have a shrewd commissioner. He's an ass, but he's shrewd. The product is they are shrewd business people. This big deal that they inked with ESPN and getting a part of that network and basically having ESPN as part of the fabric is huge. And it's maybe not a good huge for the average consumer. What this is going to mean, and Brian and I are always talking about this. There's mechanizations in process here. Do you know how we have around Christmas time you have the Amazon, well, you already have Amazon Prime, you got to pay for that. You have the Netflix game. You have these other games that are pay per view. The league is heading in that direction in general. And I think that is going to cost even more. And I tell you, what it does is it prices people out to a percentage. And I think this is where the NFL is going to screw up because the other sports have done that, NASCAR, baseball, you do it at your own peril. You've still got to offer that product, and they have a great product because there's fantasy football. There's legalized gambling pretty much every place, and of course, you can watch all your teams. Um, it's not like Major League Baseball, who hides two-thirds of the league and only shows Yankees, Red Sox, Cubs, Dodgers games. You actually can see all your teams, and there is also a realistic chance that your team can win and make the playoffs and maybe make the Super Bowl. If the Cincinnati Bengals can do it with their blind squirrel method of drafting players and lucking into Joe Burrow, why can't the Oakland Raiders? I mean, they used to be a good franchise. They're run by poor people now. Maybe Tom Brady makes them a winner. Who knows? And we'll get tired of them in a few weeks. Once upon a time, or a few years, once upon a time, Kansas City was, really mediocre for most of the 70s and into the 80s. They weren't great. Now they're a dynasty everybody hates. The Patriots also went from the outhouse to the penthouse. But any team can make a run in the NFL, and that is because they have a salary cap. They have a good working relationship with the players, and then they have this massive media product. Don't tell me baseball can't do it. If you look at baseball, they don't have any of those things. And you'd think, oh well, baseball's suffering. They're making a lot of money because people watch in their local markets. They go to the games, and man, it ain't cheap. And even if you can't go to, let's say, the Braves, which man, once upon a time you pick where you wanted to sit, and Braves were awful. $10 gets you into the game. Heading up to Atlanta, we're looking for a couple tickets, and man, I- even for me, it's expensive. I don't know how a family does that. Now, last night at the minor league ballpark, a lot of families, and it's still a reasonable product, and it was full. It was full on Thursday night, and everybody's like, "Well, soccer's coming." If you look at soccer, the MLS is one thing they got right is they're made to a balance in the spreadsheet, but they don't pull the numbers. They don't have the media package first and foremost. They don't have the talent, that's for sure. It's basically it would be the akin to single A or double A where baseball is concerned. That's about the product level you have where it concerns. You've got the Premier League, which is the NFL. You've got all the European leagues, which is basically like NFL light. And then they've got the right idea of playing it at the time of year that they're playing. MLS said, well, let's play in the spring and the summer and compete against baseball because we can. Well, they can, but they only play once or twice a week. Baseball isn't suffering those other nights a week. Look, Columbus is a great example. The Columbus Crew, been an established member they were a founding member of the MLS. They built their ballpark right next to the Columbus Clippers, AAA affiliate of the Indians. Sorry, Guardians, whatever. Um, they don't lack for drawing, and they're not scheduled on the same nights. So there you go. Where am I getting with this? Back to the TV thing. It's the old FAFO thing is where I'm getting with that. These leagues, if you really F around, you're going to find out. And I hope the NFL doesn't go down that path. College football has already entered this with ESPN being the only dominant force. You're only going to get the conferences that they want into the championship game, and they're going to force four SEC teams up your butt, four Big Ten teams down your throat. And then, oh, by the way, if Boise State is possibly undefeated, they might get to go to, get that one bid, which I don't even think in the way things are shaping up, especially they're going into this new conference, which is going to be the new Pac-12. I don't think they got the numbers. I don't think they got the quality. It isn't going to happen. So I don't know. They have backed off of the talks of expansion on that for now. Hopefully they just keep it where it's at. All right, so 15 minutes in. I've got a couple minutes left to keep your attention. And what I wanted to talk about was college football. Obviously, as I mentioned, Brian and I aren't going to be able to get together at the very least until next week to talk. Hopefully by then I can convince him to get on the video, and I'll ply him with beer and cigars, not cigarettes. He didn't smoke cigarettes. But a couple of the conferences we're not going to get a chance to talk about in depth, and I might as well go ahead and throw this one out there, is the American Conference. Now they're no longer the AAC, which is the American Athletic Conference. They have separated themselves. Even they don't want that stench from the ACC, so they're just the American. Um, it's a big conference. There are some programs in that conference that are really good, or have been good over the past decade. UT San Antonio, Florida Atlantic, South Florida, um, Tulane, Memphis. Those programs can play football and every few years pop up with a damn good team. But every single one of those teams would love the hell out of the American Conference. And it's kind of sad. This is the old remnants of the breakup of Conference USA and the Big East. It still had some big names, but they've all fled. The teams that are left that I just mentioned are in markets that would love to be in any other conference because you get on TV, you get a chance. So Memphis went to the Big 12 and said, "What if we brought with us $200 million?" And we've been in a conference with University of Cincinnati. We've been in a conference with a couple of these other teams, or been able to compete with them on a football or basketball level. You want to have us? 200 something $million? The Big 12 said no. What? I mean, there's this haves and haves not. They would have brought FedEx. They would have brought the Memphis market, which Memphis is it's still a viable market. You could have brought in a couple teams. Tulane, you get into New Orleans. Now, I think Tulane's going to wind up somehow, and same thing with Memphis, in another conference to get to that Power 5 level. Maybe that's the Pac-12. UT San Antonio was also rumored to be heading that way. Very interesting to see what happens. It's a big conference still. There's a lot of teams here, but and you've got other programs: East Carolina, Army, Navy, Temple, Rice, North Texas, UAB, Charlotte. These are major metropolitan areas. Now, the people that go to those schools, the athletics have been different shape over the years, but this is like Northeast, Southern Missouri Tech. This isn't some, BFE college. So I wonder if they're the next one to really splinter. It could be bad. Let's talk about some of these teams. Obviously, I don't think Temple, I don't think Tulsa, I don't think Rice, I don't think Charlotte are going to be worth a damn. Reading up on them a little bit, they're still building programs. UAB might be an interesting one. Jalen Kitna, remember John Kitna? It's his son. Got booted from Florida. Allegations of some bad stuff. I'm not even going to bring it up. Go look it up if you want to. He's going to be the quarterback there. Trent Dilfer is the head coach there. UAB's on the cusp of either taking a step forward or they're going to have to burn it to the ground again. Dilfer, maybe not long for there. Temple has been through so many coaches, and it's been such a trying time. Everybody that's done well there has moved on, including Matt Rule, who's at Nebraska. It's hard to win at Temple at football for very long. The Service Academy teams both are going to be pretty damn good this year. I would watch for Navy to challenge for a top 25 spot. Army's going to be pretty good, but they're younger. The other teams again that we mentioned is being competitive. East Carolina made a bowl last year. Their defense is terrible. They've got some offensive weapons. I would count on them probably making a bowl. UT San Antonio, man, what a great program being led down there. I think the coach's name is escaping me because I didn't make notes on this when I'm flying. But UTSA has put money into their program. They've got recruits. They've got NIL. They're going to compete. FAU is in this weird spot. So you had a handful of really good seasons, and then their coach leaves, and then you bring in a couple of retread coaches that are supposed to be good, like Willie Taggart, and the guy that was at Ohio State as an offense coordinator, and he liked strippers, and he went to Houston, and never mind. Now they're in this bad cycle again. I think they're teetering on, do we actually compete or do we burn it to the ground? They've got some talent there. It's mostly transfer talent. USF has a really interesting quarterback, and I'm curious to see if that they had some success last year, but they battled injuries really badly. Um, Very interesting to see if they take that step back into the bowl arena. I'm actually going to head off to see them play Boise State on August 28th. I want to check them out in person. Then you have the couple teams that you expect to be pretty good. Memphis, they're going to be breaking in a new quarterback this year. And then you also have Tulane, who, boy, they lost their quarterback to transfer to Duke, Mensa, but they got a pretty good replacement that's going to be coming in there. It's escaping me again, but I will. I'll make some notes as an addendum to this video. But I would expect Memphis, Navy, Tulane all to be competing, and UTSA to be competing to win that conference. That's kind of the glossy brushover of the American Conference. We'll talk about them more down the road, but again, Brian and I aren't going to be able to do these in-depth, conference analysis, and I just wanted to get one in while I could. So hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and happy Friday to you. Wherever you are, have yourself a lovely weekend, and we will see you at trivia next week.